Welcome back to the Rollup. I'm Robbie.
I'm Andy. Robbie and I met at the University of Florida in 2017, where we first found out about digital assets.
We learned a lot along the way, and we're bringing you face to face with the leaders of our industry.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode. Back live at NearCon, day 2, the last segment of the day. We've got Erik Voorhees, notably the CEO of ShapeShift, amongst others.
First place I made an on-chain transaction.
Was it?
Yeah.
Erik, so story time for you is Robbie and I met at the University of Florida in the blockchain club there, Bitcoin club in 2017. Part of our inauguration and getting started there was bringing on speakers into Zoom and teaching us things about crypto. And with the help of a friend named Antonio and Felipe, we actually called you in. You zoomed in 2017 and did a live ShapeShift demo for us, talked for about 30 minutes about censorship, resistance, kind of libertarianism, and then you were gone.
Yeah, that checks out.
And here we are today.
That checks out. That was the best crypto year of all.
Yes.
2017, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to NearCon.
A lot has happened
Thank
since
you.
then.
Yeah, a lot has happened. Industry is a big thing now.
Yeah. Erik, one of the things that I think is super, super pressing in the industry now, and it's the cause of a lot of the sentiment disruption, is that we've built a lot of this open source infrastructure at scale, but we haven't quite figured out value capture from it. And there's a lot of these kind of the antithesis of what we've built here being institutional funds, TradFi, if you will, coming on, building on the rails and capturing a lot of the value from it. People have a really, really bad feeling about this kind of environment. Also with the era of pragmatism coming about, where it's much more about users, customers, products, revenue, and business, and less about the core ethos, and less about why we're here. How do we as an industry go into this next era of pragmatism, of institutional adoption, while maintaining the core ethos of what we've built?
Great question. I think the core ethos is protected by the protocols, right? The ethos is built into Bitcoin, and that doesn't change regardless of who's using it. So it's the protector is really the code that people have written, and that's been the whole point. I don't take the same view that it's so problematic that all these institutions get involved. I think that was always hopefully inevitable. The point is that the crypto takes over the world, and to do that, it has to merge with the world. And so this should be a sign of success. Now, what would not be a sign of success is if somehow we all ended up just using like custodial companies and there was no way to use anything else. If there was no alternative, if there was no DeFi, if there was no self-hosted wallets, like if that got lost somehow, then we'd be in big trouble and we wouldn't have created anything useful.
Yeah.
But that's not our situation.
What do you think is the main limiting factor for mass adoption, and that could come with institutions being the distribution channel to citizens and users ultimately? Is that primarily the vector that we're exploring, or is there some other limiting factor that could bring the masses?
I think the masses just have to happen over time. Like what we've done with crypto is fundamentally change the way that money can work, but people's behaviors take a lot of time. Like people have inertia. They get used to certain behaviors, and that can't be flipped off overnight. There's so much friction and inertia in the way businesses transact with each other and people transact with each other. Like that just really takes a long time. But if you look at sort of crypto adoption by age group, it grows as the group gets younger. So it is a multi-decade phenomenon, but like my grandchildren probably think crypto is pretty normal. Even my children will.
Yeah. Erik, when you were kind of early pioneering in Bitcoin and just generally in DeFi, 2015, 2013 era, all the way till 2017.
Well, there was no DeFi in 2013.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Pre-Ethereum, pre-smart contracts.
Right.
Yeah.
But you had part of the vision, right? You saw some of this, or at least you saw
Bitcoin, I guess, was the first DeFi project.
Yeah.
Right? It was like it did DeFi for money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what was the inspiration for ShapeShift, which ultimately kind of spurted off decentralized exchanges, DeFi from there?
So I started ShapeShift back in 2014 after Mt. Gox collapsed, which was like the 95% of all the exchange market back then. Big centralized custodian, and it almost destroyed the whole industry. So I was like, well, how do you build a exchange that doesn't hold any customer money and doesn't require them to reveal who they are? You just protect people by the design of the exchange. So yeah, ShapeShift was the first non-custodial exchange, and yeah, we built it 2 years before Ethereum came out. Then Ethereum came out, and the whole explosion of different assets really caught fire. So it was good timing.
Yeah. Has this played out the way that you thought? Has the last 10 years, so 2016 to 2026, did you envision kind of, obviously you couldn't have predicted it perfectly, but was this like par for the course? Was it way off? Was it close?
At least for me, I did not predict or understand what a smart contract was before that happened.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I was like, yeah, someday there will be these smart contracts and everyone will be using DeFi primitives. Like that was a little alien. And even when Ethereum came out, it took me a while to understand the value of what that was. But crypto is, like slowly taking over the world, and Bitcoin has become, top 10 asset on planet Earth. That is absolutely what I was hoping to see. Yeah. So in some ways, it feels like it's happened faster, in other ways slower than I would have wanted, but it's happening.
Well,
Do you see similarities in the way AI is playing out now and the way crypto played out in the early days?
No, not. I think they're totally different.
Yeah.
AI had this like long academic history going back decades, but it wasn't ever quite potent enough to break through in the mainstream. And then the ChatGPT moment happened, and suddenly it took over everything. Like it's been a few years, and AI is everywhere, and it became completely mainstream within 2 years. Crypto still is not completely mainstream, and crypto also cryptocurrencies at least did not have like 80 years of academic history. It was a much more recent phenomenon, and has been slower growing during that time, whereas AI was like being worked on forever and ever and ever. I mean, imagine being like someone in AI and living through 50 years of disappointments and it never achieving the things that you wanted.
Yeah, man.
But now it finally certainly has.
Yeah. Let's talk about the work that you're doing at Venice, Erik. We're at NearCon, kind of this convergence point between these two industries. Venice is a part of a new kind of asset in crypto. There's this idea of kind of doing GPU-backed tokens in crypto. You've got one called DM. You've got USD AI. Venice is effectively in that category as well, doing novel kind of GPU experiments with tokens. How's it been? What's the short and sweet on Venice? Like, if you had to explain it to somebody who it's their first time, and why is this something that you're spending your time on?
So it's my full-time thing now. It has been for 2 years, and basically I wanted to build a private, uncensored version of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So I loved ChatGPT, but I was like, this is super dystopian unless someone builds something with actual like crypto ethos in it. So it is first and foremost a consumer app for AI. And of course, me being a crypto guy, I'm going to bring crypto elements into it. So you mentioned Diem. That's one of the tokens of the Venice ecosystem.
Yeah.
Diem basically lets any holder of it get free compute, $1 per day of free compute. And so we built this, kind of as an experiment to see like, will agents like the ability to get essentially like inference at zero marginal cost. Instead of paying per call, they get a free inference up to a certain amount every day. So yeah, we're just playing around with these kind of primitives within AI, and I think the AI and crypto world are moving increasingly close together. I think we may all realize at some point in the future that like cryptocurrency was actually just being built for the AI robots, and the humans have always been awkward with it, but like agents and machines will understand it easily and have no problem with the UX issues. So it's interesting to see these worlds merging, and it's been fun to build in both of them.
What was a turning point from when you were working with crypto and then ultimately, now with Venice? Was there a point in the middle there that, was it the ChatGPT moment that kind of lit a light bulb and said, I'm going to really focus on this new venture?
Yeah, so we decentralized ShapeShift in 2021, and I took a couple of years off, and I didn't know what I would do next. And then the AI thing happened, and to me, it was one of those clear cases where like someone who cares about the principles that I care about needs to build an alternative to what these will become.
Yeah.
No one in the AI world cares much about free speech. No one in the AI world cares much about privacy. I'm generalizing, but like those are relatively foreign concepts to a largely previously academic community that was very much in favor of always controlling people and just making sure the right person was controlling them. That's a totally different mentality than what we have in crypto. So I felt like I had to do something and built Venice for that.
Yeah. So in the ecosystem, I mentioned Diem. You're talking about the private kind of uncensorable interface. Like, if this works, like, are we building an entire economic structure with the principles of kind of that you share with the early stages of crypto? Censorship resistance, decentralization, immutability, et cetera, building that in the AI lens with a fully self-sustaining kind of economic model inside. Like, what is the ecosystem vision that you have for Venice? Like what can we kind of tie this to or map this to in our minds?
The simple way to think of it is just like Venice is a consumer app trying to do a very specific thing, which is like provide inference that is private and that is not censored.
Yeah.
And everything that we do is built to support that mission. Yeah. So we're not trying to do everything or we're not really trying to create an ecosystem. We're just trying to build a really important product and infuse within it the ethos that I find so important.
Hibachi is fast and private perps trading, secured by ZK with Celestia underneath. Go to hibachi.xyz to start trading today.
Looking for yield that stands out? infiniFi gives you just that. Deposit stablecoins and earn far more than the current savings rate. infiniFi is a battle-tested, reliable DeFi platform that is ready to go. Head to infinifi.xyz.
When you see some of the foundational labs censoring at their model level, does that give you more volition around what you're building to essentially provide that uncensorability to whether it's Claude or ChatGPT? People that were being censored can now use Venice as a vector to explore those models?
Yeah, so those are private companies and they can set whatever rules they want on their models, right? That's fine. What's not fine is if that's the only alternative. Yeah. And what's not fine especially is if governments come in and basically demand that kind of censorship must happen. And the risk with those companies like OpenAI and Anthropic is that they will and have lobbied governments for regulation to enshrine the way that they do things as the correct way. So I find that problematic. And Venice is a consumer app as an alternative, but the amazing thing that's happening is that Chinese labs are actually the greatest bastion of open source models here.
Yeah.
It's super ironic, very weird and strange. Yeah. But as long as open source models are competitive and widespread, which they're getting increasingly powerful, then we're good. And it's all fine.
Go anywhere on chain instantly with Relay.link. Relay is closing in on $10 billion transferred. Go to Relay.link to bridge your assets now.
What do you make of the geopolitical evolution there being the Chinese open source models and the closed source private AI companies in the US?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. And it's always hard to figure out to what degree things are centrally coordinated. Is the Chinese government dictating everything that's going on? It's easy to think that way because people tend to think of nation states as personified entities that act with pure focused attention. But it's all in my opinion, a messy phenomenon that no one is really sure how it's going to unfold, and there's lots of incentives going on all at the same time.
Yeah, Eric, last thing that I have, you had a very famous interview with SBF before he blew up. You were right, notably, and recently SBF's gotten his phone back and has been on Twitter.
Great.
Today, Trump said that he's not going to pardon.
Correct. Trump is
good.
confirmed that even though that SBF is quite literally on his knees on Twitter for Trump, Trump will still not pardon him. Just wanted to give you a chance to comment on that.
I mean, it does not seem that he is worthy of a pardon. No. No.
He's trying to say that he was always liquid, that he was always solvent, and that due to external forces, his insolvency was forced upon him, and that he's been this great investor in AI.
I just don't think anyone believes that story. He has been a great investor in AI, that's for sure. He made a $500 million investment in Anthropic.
Yeah.
Of course, did it with other people's money. Amazingly, that investment turned out to be the thing that is making most of the Anthropic creditors whole, or mostly whole, or
FTX.
FTX creditors whole. But that was luck. I don't think SBF deserves anything but his sentence, and he doesn't really deserve the attention anymore. I'm so sick of all the scammers in crypto that have just like caused such damage to the industry. There's been so many of them. And it's been a bummer because the rest of us have to deal with the consequences of that.
Especially in AI, we've seen it as of late more and more, where there's just this complete separation and just desire to not be affiliated with crypto at all.
Yeah, and it's understandable. Like from the outside perspective, you can be forgiven if you think crypto's a scam, because if you read articles once in a while and you have a couple friends that got ripped off, like what else are you supposed to think? And I can't sit down with everyone and have a 30-minute conversation about the philosophical principles that undermine, sovereignty in the realm of money. So it's an uphill battle.
Yeah. Erik, last thing I have for you, we're at NearCon. You had a chat with Illia on stage, and I'm curious, any takeaways that you had from that chat, and how you see Venice and Near working together in the future?
I was glad to be here and to have a chance to talk about privacy in AI. I mean, Illia is one of the very few people that has deep credibility in both worlds.
Right.
Like almost no one can actually claim that. Mm-hmm. I certainly have no credibility in AI. Like I'm a tourist. I'm learning about it in the last couple of years, but he has both, and so this is it's very cool to see this event coming together as a fusion of these two worlds, and I hope it gets bigger and more. I want more of that integration to happen. So he's one of the few figureheads that could actually do that, I think.
Yeah. Erik, as you said, man, you've inspired us since 2016, 2017, first time on the show. Would love to make it a recurring thing. Thanks for coming on, Erik.
Yeah, thanks.
Hope you have a great rest of your conference.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.